What's up, YouTubers and plant lovers? It's Justin, and today I was going to show you how I care for my Chinese elm. Now, this is my bonsai tree, one of them, and I wanted to go ahead and repot him today and give you a little background information, let you know how I care for him. He's been a little sick, had a couple problems thanks to a couple of neighborhood cats sharpening some claws on here. So I've got to come up with a solution on how to prevent that. And kind of trimming back some. His crown is getting really bushy, and he's got a lot of split ends and dead kind of ramifications, not looking too good. So I want to kind of fix that, trim him back a little bit, and put him in his new home. So before I started this video, I found a good Allen Roth pot. I love terracotta pots, terracotta style pots, and this one is really cool. It's just very nice and sleek. I love the color, the design, and it's just, yeah. Give me a second. So anyways, I went ahead and drilled some holes in the bottom of it just to make sure that it would hold no water. Chinese elms do very well in a soil that is really nutritious and drains relatively well too. You don't want it to hold on to a lot of water. You really want it to have that kind of consistency of a wrung out sponge. If it's saturated and standing in water all day, you're gonna die. Well, you won't die, but your Chinese elm will succumb rather quickly. So just make sure that you're paying attention to what kind of soil it receives. They can tolerate a wide range when it comes to soils. When it comes to acidity, they like a high pH, kind of acidic, to a little bit high, and they can do a little bit of alkalinic soils too. Neutral is kind of in the middle, ideally, especially with them. They would kind of prefer that, but they can go kind of all over the place whenever you're talking about the acidity. With him, I kind of keep it slightly acidic, kind of in between slightly acidic and neutral. But if you were in a pinch, alkaline soils wouldn't hurt this tree. They can tolerate very kind of clay, loamy soils too, but in a perfect world they would like something that drains really easily. Especially if you're in my area, northern Kentucky, where we get a lot of rain, you want it to drain easily. And then again, in their locations, they're very good for street trees, and if you have kind of a small area, they only get to about 40 or 50 feet tall. About 40 or 50 feet, yeah, somewhere around that. They can get a little wide, but they really won't kind of tear up anything with their roots, with driveways or pipes or streets. And they have really cute kind of leaves. They're kind of small oval leaves, serrated edges. And they have this lovely kind of jade green color, and in the fall, man, they get really pretty colors, anywhere from like reds to purplish to golds and yellows. I mean, they're kind of all over the place. This one has kind of a goldish color in the fall, bright color yellow. I mean, it looks spectacular and gets a little bit of red and some orange in there. I really love this guy in the fall too. But enough about him. I want to go ahead and get him going here and do a little work. So I'm going to remove this tree guard here. And I probably have to get some more, but I kind of put this up to kind of discourage the cats from shredding him. As you can tell, they were doing it right here, and this healed up rather nicely. But then down around here, man, they really started to find someplace new and go to town on that. So I'm going to go ahead and take him out of his pot here in just a second. I'm going to put this one up, put him down here, and get his new pot going. Like I said, they're not too particular when it comes to soil. Put this bucket underneath it so I don't make a huge mess here. But they do like easy draining soils that don't hold on to too much moisture. And they like a decent amount of nutrients in their soil too. So I will go ahead and include some compost in here. This is the kind of stuff I get off of Amazon. It's called Charlie's Compost. It's chicken, fertilized with chicken manure. And you really don't need a whole bunch. I'm going to mix some in, and that ought to do for the entire pot. So yeah, a little bit will go a long way. And I think that'll be okay. Alright. just gonna kind of mix it all in there, just to give it that nice consistency all the way throughout. This cacti citrus soil has a lot of sand and a lot of, looks like peat moss and wood chips in here. So I want to add some compost in here to help it with water retention. So you want to mix that in. You don't want it to just sit on top there. And I may end up having to add a little bit more towards the top so that it can kind of filter its way down in there. So right now the soil comes up to about here. I've got it up around the edges to kind of make a little divot. I don't know if you can see it, but I've made a little bowl shape down in there so that the root mass can sit in the middle and the soil's up on the sides to help me kind of scoot it down in there. I'll put my bucket underneath so that as I pull the plant out, all this doesn't get all over my floor. Now I know you can't see, but I've got him out of its pot. And all I'm doing, I should have my root rake for this, but I left it in the other room. So I'm going to take my fingers and lightly kind of score around the outside, the top, and the bottom to knock a lot of this detritus off and loosen up the root mass down around here. Again, I'm just lightly taking my fingers and gently going over all the soil to kind of loosen some of this up and knock a lot of this off. All I'm trying to do is free some of this root mass that's a little bit bound up. Alright, so as I said, that fits in there nicely. All I was doing is taking my fingers and lightly scoring around to loosen some of that up there and make sure that he'd fit down in there into his new home and then have ample room to grow out. Alright, now make sure I get some room so you can see my face this time, unlike my last video. Next, I will take my new bonsai scissors. I love that sound. And I always sanitize it before and after each use, just to make sure. And I love using 99% isopropyl alcohol, but if you're in a pinch, 91% will be ideal. 99% is better, obviously. So all I'm going to do is clip off anything that's excessively hanging. Alright, now we'll go ahead and add in some of the soil. Now, a lot of people ask me if I use the same soil out of the pot or if I just add new soil. And I always just add new soil. You don't know what was in the previous soil, if there's any nutrients left, if there's any kind of bugs down in it. So, kill two birds with one stone, add more nutrients, and kind of help eliminate any possibility of any infestation, even if you don't think there is one. Alright, now, I don't like the way it looks with just a bunch of soil on top, so I use my Tiny Roots kind of premium bonsai soil. And I always find that if I leave it with just a bunch of soil on top, my outdoor cats think it's fair use for the bathroom. They usually don't try and mess with this stuff too much. So now his soil looks a lot better. So he's in his new home. I'm gonna add this back into the compost. And then I will go ahead and clean my pruning shears again. Get all that soil off, wipe it off, and sanitize it. And I always try to spray it vertically up and down, that way all this doesn't go towards the gears and knobs and everything else in the middle of the scissors or shears, and kind of get dirt and everything in the center where I can't get to it. And then my other pruning clamps, I will clean them off too. Again, just kind of do it vertically, and you just kind of want to trim anything that will come into contact with the plant. Now, there's not too much I want to do here. I just want to kind of clip off any branches that look like they're about to rub another branch. Any rubbing of branches will create kind of an opening for diseases and pests to enter your tree. And anything that looks too sickly or just kind of too long and doesn't really kind of flow with the theme of the tree. And that's kind of the beauty of right now, is I'm letting him fill in. So I'm not trying to take too much off right now. I'm just kind of looking for problem areas, or just any areas that don't feel like they're helping to contribute to the overall beauty of the tree. Now, those pruning shears are great for doing any kind of general pruning towards the end, but anything that comes into contact with a branch or stem, I can get these to come in and get kind of flush with the stem and trim it right off, and it won't leave a big old hole to kind of come in here and have to heal up. Now I think ultimately I'm going to go with a broom look for this tree, so I'm trying to keep that in mind as I'm doing all this. And anything that doesn't look like it's going to fit with that, I want to go ahead and remove. Alright guys, and as always, I'd like to give a special shout out to my patrons like David and Heather. Thank you for supporting my channel through Patreon. If you're interested in supporting my channel through Patreon, the link is in the description box below. As always, the money goes to keeping the plants watered, fertilized, new soil, new pots, and new plants to feature on this channel of mine. And while you're at it, leave me a comment and let me know if you've ever kept a Chinese elm as a bonsai tree. This is one of my favorites. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and leave a like if you enjoyed the video. And while you're at it, go ahead and share this video with a friend. That always helps me tremendously. Alright guys, well this has been Justin reminding you that if you can, go out and plant the tree. Let's reforest the world. Until next time, take it easy, have a good one, and don't forget, always plant prudently. Thank you, YouTube.